Losing a spouse is one of the hardest things anyone can go through. But did you know that in the months that follow, many people make costly mistakes that add even more stress and regret? These mistakes can impact your finances, your well-being, and even your ability to heal. In this video, I'll reveal the 5 biggest mistakes to avoid, mistakes that could change the course of your future. Stay with me until the end, because knowing these in advance can save you from unnecessary heartbreak. Let's get started. Mistakes are 1. Making big financial decisions. Too soon. Losing a spouse is an overwhelming experience, and in the midst of grief, financial decisions can feel like a way to regain control. Suddenly, there are bank accounts to manage, insurance policies to review, and perhaps even a house to consider selling. Many widows and widowers feel pressured by family, financial advisors, or their own emotions to make big changes quickly. But acting too soon can lead to long-term regrets. Take the case of Margaret, a 74-year-old widow. After losing her husband, she was advised by friends and even a financial planner to sell her house. The logic made sense. A smaller place meant lower expenses and less upkeep. Feeling overwhelmed and eager for a fresh start, she sold the home she had lived in for 40 years and moved to an apartment in another town. At first, it seemed like the right decision, but as the initial shock of her loss faded, she realized she had underestimated the emotional connection she had to her home. She missed her familiar surroundings, her neighbors, and the memories tied to every room. She later admitted that she wished she had given herself more time before making such a drastic move. Another common financial mistake is giving away money too soon. In the emotional haze of grief, some widows and widowers make large financial gifts to family members, charities, or friends, thinking it will help them feel better. Unfortunately, many later find themselves in financial trouble, realizing they were not in the best position to give away assets. The best advice: follow the 1-year rule. Experts recommend waiting at least a year before making irreversible financial decisions. This allows time for emotions to settle, helping you think clearly about your long-term needs. Take time to consult a trusted financial advisor, someone who understands both your financial situation and your emotional state. Grief clouds judgment, and what feels right in the moment may not be what's best in the long run. Lesson: in the aftermath of loss, financial stability should be the goal, not financial risk-taking. Take your time, seek guidance, and make decisions with a clear mind rather than a grieving heart. Mistake number 2. Isolating yourself from friends and family. Grief is deeply personal, and after losing a spouse, many people feel the need to withdraw from the world. It's normal to want time alone, but complete isolation can lead to deeper loneliness, depression, and even physical health issues. Staying connected, at least in small ways, can make a significant difference in emotional healing. Consider Walter, a 78-year-old man who lost his wife of 52 years. After her passing, he stopped answering phone calls, skipped family gatherings, and rarely left the house. He told himself that no one could understand his grief and that being alone was easier. But as months passed, he found himself feeling worse, not better. His days blurred together, his energy dropped, and even his appetite changed. It wasn't until a persistent neighbor invited him for coffee that something shifted. That one meeting led to weekly coffee chats, then to small social outings. Slowly, he realized that engaging with others didn't erase his grief, it simply made it more bearable. Another mistake is pushing away those who want to help. Some widows and widowers become irritable or feel misunderstood, causing them to distance themselves from friends and family. While no one can fully understand your grief, their presence alone can provide comfort. Even if you don't feel like talking, just being around people, listening to conversations, sharing a meal, can help prevent deep loneliness. If socializing feels overwhelming, start small. Answer a phone call, go for a short walk with a friend, or join a support group. Speaking with others who have experienced loss can be incredibly healing. The key is to take gradual steps toward connection without forcing yourself into situations you're not ready for. Lesson: healing doesn't mean forgetting, and connecting with others doesn't mean moving on. Staying engaged with loved ones can ease the burden of grief and remind you that you are not alone. Mistake number 3, ignoring your own health and well-being. In the wake of loss, many people neglect their health. Grief can make simple tasks, eating, exercising, even going to the doctor, feel exhausting or unimportant. But ignoring your physical and mental well-being only makes the healing process harder. James, an 81-year-old man, stopped cooking meals for himself after his wife passed away. At first, he told himself he just wasn't hungry. When he did eat, it was mostly processed foods, quick and easy but lacking nutrition. Within months, he felt weaker, more fatigued, and struggled to sleep. His daughter noticed the change and encouraged him to start eating properly again. With small adjustments, preparing simple, nutritious meals and drinking more water, he regained energy and found it easier to cope emotionally. Exercise is another crucial part of healing. Many widows and widowers stop being active because they no longer have a partner to walk with or exercise with. But even light movement, like a daily walk, can reduce stress, boost mood, and improve overall health. Some people find comfort in joining a walking group or exercise class, not just for the physical benefits, but for social interaction as well. Medical checkups should not be ignored. Many grieving individuals skip doctor visits because they feel overwhelmed. However, grief can weaken the immune system, increase blood pressure, and even lead to heart problems. Regular checkups help catch potential issues early, ensuring that physical health doesn't deteriorate during this challenging time. Mental health is just as important. Grief can lead to depression, anxiety, and feelings of hopelessness. If you're struggling, reach out for help. Speaking with a counselor, joining a grief support group, or simply opening up to a trusted friend can provide relief. Seeking support isn't a sign of weakness, it's a step toward healing. Lesson: taking care of yourself doesn't mean you're forgetting your spouse. It means honoring their memory by continuing to live in a way that allows you to heal, find peace, and regain strength. Your well-being still matters, and prioritizing your health is one of the most important things you can do. Mistake number 4. Holding on to too much stuff. After losing a spouse, it can be incredibly difficult to part with their belongings. Every item, clothes, books, personal notes, feels like a piece of them, a connection to the past. Many widows and widowers find themselves unable to let go of anything, fearing that doing so will erase their spouse's presence. However, keeping too much can lead to emotional and physical clutter, making it harder to move forward. Consider Linda, a 67-year-old widow. After her husband's passing, she left his clothes hanging in the closet, his shoes by the door, and his favorite coffee mug on the kitchen counter. At first, these reminders brought her comfort, but as the years passed, her home became a museum of grief. She couldn't bring herself to remove anything, and soon the clutter became overwhelming. Instead of feeling connected, she felt trapped. It wasn't until her daughter gently suggested going through some of his belongings together that she realized she didn't need to keep everything, just the most meaningful pieces. On the other hand, some people make the opposite mistake and get rid of everything too soon. In a rush to avoid pain, they clear out their spouse's belongings immediately, only to regret it later. Bill, a 72-year-old widower, donated all of his wife's clothes just 2 weeks after her passing. He thought it would help him move on, but later he wished he had kept a few sentimental items, her favorite scarf, a handwritten letter, things that would have brought him comfort. A healthy approach is to find a balance. Start by setting aside the most meaningful items, perhaps a piece of jewelry, a few cherished photographs, or a special book. Then, when you feel ready, gradually go through the rest. You don't have to do it alone. Having a family member or close friend help can make the process less overwhelming. Lesson: keeping everything can make it harder to heal, while getting rid of everything too soon can lead to regret. Choose a few meaningful items to honor your spouse's memory while allowing yourself space to move forward. Mistake number 5. Avoiding legal and financial responsibilities. Handling financial and legal matters after a spouse's death can feel overwhelming. Many widows and widowers avoid dealing with them, either out of fear, confusion, or emotional exhaustion. Unfortunately, delaying these tasks can lead to serious financial consequences. Take the case of Robert, a 75-year-old man who lost his wife unexpectedly. She had always managed the household finances, and he never took an interest in bills, bank accounts, or investments. After her passing, he avoided looking at their financial documents, feeling too overwhelmed. Months later, he realized he had missed several important deadlines, including a life insurance claim and a pension benefit application. By the time he finally sought help, he had lost out on thousands of dollars. Another common mistake is failing to update legal documents. After losing a spouse, many people forget to update their will, power of attorney, and beneficiaries on accounts. Sarah, a 68-year-old widow, discovered that her husband had listed his late brother as the beneficiary of his retirement account. Because it had never been updated, it caused months of legal complications before she could access the funds. 2. Avoid these issues. Take small steps. Start by making a list of important financial tasks, such as notifying banks, updating legal documents, and reviewing insurance policies. If you feel overwhelmed, seek help from a financial advisor or an attorney. Even if you don't understand everything, having a professional guide, you can make the process much smoother. Lesson: ignoring financial and legal responsibilities can lead to unnecessary stress and lost assets. Take small, manageable steps to stay in control of your finances and seek professional help when needed. Mistake number 6. Believing that you'll never be happy. Again, one of the most painful aspects of losing a spouse is the fear that happiness is gone forever. Many widows and widowers believe that they will never feel joy, love, or fulfillment again. While grief never fully disappears, it is possible to find happiness in new ways. Eleanor, a 70-year-old widow, spent the first year after her husband's passing convinced that life had lost all meaning. She avoided activities they once enjoyed together, believing it would be too painful to experience them without him. But one day, her granddaughter invited her to a painting class. At first, she hesitated, feeling guilty for even considering something fun, but eventually she went. What started as a simple activity turned into a new passion. She found herself looking forward to her weekly class, and over time, it became a source of joy and connection. Some widows and widowers even find love again. This doesn't mean replacing their spouse. It simply means opening their heart to companionship. Paul, a 78-year-old widower, never thought he'd date again. But after years of loneliness, he met a woman at a church event who had also lost her spouse. Their friendship gradually turned into something more. They both acknowledged that their late spouses would always hold a special place in their hearts, but they also saw the value in moving forward together. Finding happiness doesn't mean forgetting your spouse. It means honoring their memory by continuing to live fully. This can come in many forms: picking up a new hobby, spending time with loved ones, traveling, or even just enjoying small moments of peace. Lesson: grief and joy can coexist. While life will never be the same, it is still possible to find happiness, purpose, and even love in new ways.